factory head unit won't look like this, so we'll try and use our old video that just shows all this coming apart, because this already has one of our head units in it. We're just doing it again because we have updated the harness kit to make things easier for you guys out there, which is always handy. Everyone enjoys things being a bit easier. These two side panels off here, this is something you do need to do on both sides. You can just use your handy trim tools that came in your kit. The brake controller's in the way on this one, so I'll just pop that brake controller out too. Should have done that before I did this. So I'll pop that off and then do the same on the side here. Now what happens is this here pulls off like that. That pulls off on both sides. There's a small clip in the back here. Push it in the middle. You'll hear it go pop. That means it has come out now, and you'll be able to remove that. It's a little push clip there. And there's also a 10mm there. Unscrew that. Once those are off, we're going to pull this off on like an angle, sort of back towards me like this. So I've got that screw out now, like I said, back towards you, an angle towards me. Give it a bit of like a wiggle. That's going to pop down. Just leave it like loose. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side here. Get in the passenger side. So same thing again. Trim tool on the side there. Go around, pop it off. And actually do it with just your hands. That whole part comes off. Remember to push this little button in the back. Pop that out. Remember this here, 10mm. Spin that out. That's it. Keep all your little parts where you can find them. Pull it out at an angle like that. That might drop out. That's just your bit that clips into here. So just make sure this goes back in correctly. It only goes in how it fits in. You can work it out. Right, so that's basically all that done now. Again, your factory one is going to be pretty much the same. There'll be like one difference, and I will explain that to you. But now you just need to get in the top here and pop up this top part. Sometimes it is easy to just grab two of the tools we provide in the kit to get in there and go around and lever it up. That'll pop up. There is a small plug in the back here. Plug that back in, unplug that. Here it's actually bringing unplug that plug here. So that's to there. Then we have our aircon vents. Now you can put the trim tools in here and pop them out. So obviously in like that, but you can do a little bit of damage to there. So you can actually, if you get your finger up here, you can push behind it. So you can see, I can see my finger now. That's how I pushed out that. Give it a pull, it'll come out. It has a plug on it. Remove that plug. Sometimes if these plugs don't come out, just give it a push back in and then try again. That giving it push back in is a little tip. Again on this side, we'll try and get our finger up under there and try and find the aircon thing you want to push on, and then give it a wiggle and it'll pull out again this little switch on here, pull out that. Now you can use the trim tools like we said and get into here and lever them out. If you are doing that and they are quite stuck, just start from the bottom, but it is best just to push from the back. That's the best way. If you had the factory head unit in, it would be a smaller Toyota one and you'd still be doing the same thing here. You'd be pulling this next Facia off, and then there's some screws. They normally have 2 screws in the bottom and 2 at the top. So here, this already has one of our ones in it, so we just give it a few tugs to get it off. As you can see, they fit pretty tight, and that is how it comes out. Now I will show you where the factory ones were, and just to plug up top as well. So that's basically all the plastic off, which is fairly straightforward. Now you just got 1, 2, 3, 4 10mm like a nut stun screw, and the whole head unit will pull out. Just be aware here that your bottom one's a fine thread and your top ones are a coarse thread, so just make sure you know where they go back. That's how it can be handy for this part, just gives you somewhere to rest this while you're going to take out your plugs in the back here. Now this already had one of our radios sort of in the actual unit, but if we didn't, we'll just explain a few things to you. So off the original Facia, you've got to make sure you unplug the hazard and the clock one. So we've got the hazard one here that comes unplugged, and also the clock one, which is our top one, which is this one here. It's on this little patch cable here, and you'll have a little bopper on it. The original head unit 2 would have been screwed in like there, up the top there, and up the top there. So those are 4 10mm bolts that come out, and then the original unit pulls out, and you unplug all these from the back. So you just like push them down and pull them out. Now this is where we've had a few customers, it gets a little bit confusing at times. Our easy, so don't worry about this here, because this is one of our plugs already. This is for the aircon. These all came out of the back of the head unit. This is for the hazard switch, this is for the clock at the top, and this is for the aircon on this side. Now some cars are going to have patch cables on here, and what you have to do is you actually have to pull the patch cables off. It's a factory Toyota thing. It's because they run things for so long, and when they update it, they just add an extra cable on. So you end up having to unplug a cable off here to find this one that matches our one. 2 things from your kit. You want to grab this 6-pin one that has 2 RCAs on it, and you also want to grab our easy adapter harness. So it all looks a bit like random here, but that's okay. Now I'm going to run you through if you have a factory camera first, and then I'll talk about using our aftermarket camera. So at the end of the day, all these plugs here should plug into one on the car side. So that's fairly straightforward. So you just come along here and you find what you can find until it match it. There's this 4-pin one here, which is on here. Now this would, I guarantee it, I would have another lead plugged into it. Unplug it so you can plug ours directly into here. That little patch lead, just I'll leave that plugged into your old radio and put it in a box or whatever. You don't need it anymore. Again, this one here, pretty much this little 5-pin one, guaranteed to have a patch lead plugged into it. Even looks pretty homemade here, but that's how it comes out of the factory. Find that one on our harness. There it is. Plug it in. So what these 2 are is our camera video feed and our trigger. Our camera power and video feed and our trigger wire. That's cool. Now you want to go and find these other ones. These big fat ones. Now these are pretty much your power and your speakers. There's 2. 1, 2. Plug those in. That's cool. Now we have a look what's missing on the car side. Okay, the antenna will missing. That's fine. This has got a circle antenna. It's going to plug straight into the back of our radio. So we don't have to worry about using our adapter we have in the kit, which could adapt it to this type. This car doesn't have it, so we're not going to use it. We're going to plug this straight in the back of our one. Oh, we had this too on the car side. So just go for our plugs. Is there one that matches up to there? There is indeed. That's all good. So we've covered every plug coming out of the car. That's quite good. Sometimes there are going to be ones left over, and we've got ones left over from ours, because not everyone's going to be exactly the same, and we try to include different ones in the harness. And that's when we do our next test, just to ensure we have all what we need to work. And that's fine if you have plugs left over. So the only other thing we want to do, this is for people who have a factory camera. We want to grab this little cable, grab the purple one, find a yellow RCA. Now there's going to be 2 in our harness. Don't plug it into this one. This one's going nowhere. Find the RCA plug. Here's one here. That's going to a plug that's going to something on the car side. It's always going to be this on these models anyway. That's 4-pin one, 99.9% of the time. That's it, done. Pretty easy. Now I just want to go and grab the unit and plug it in. Now just do a quick troubleshooting here in the middle. If you do plug the head unit in and you're missing your camera, check. This is plugged in. That's plugged into the back of our head unit. Check you've plugged this into the one that is going to one on the car side. That's plugged in. Ensure this 4-pin one is plugged in. Also ensure that this 5-pin one with the single wire is plugged in, and that somewhere you have a black piece of heat shrink or a small circuit board, which is actually a 6-volt drop down thing. That is basically your camera troubleshooting. It's the only really place that people go wrong here, and it's just because there's some random patch cables at times. That's about it, just to double check that. So just a reverse camera check. So we know the trigger's working and we're getting a black screen. That is fine. What's happening here is we have the wrong type set. So we take it out of reverse, we have to go into here. These should be set from default for some models in the future. But we go down to About Device, Settings icon, 8878. Okay, backup car setup. Now you've got two things here. You've got number cam type and cam format. So cam type, you want to change to 0 for CVBS, and cam format you'll want to change to NTSC. Now we'll set these by default in the future because I'm pretty sure we should be correct here. Press save at the top, press OK to reboot. The unit's going to reboot and we'll test it again. So those changes have been made. Put the car into reverse now and we should hopefully see something cool. We are working, which is a good sign. See the quality come through. Obviously the quality not going to be crystal clear because this is a 2011 car, old camera, going onto a high definition screen. So that is what it is. We will be releasing AHD 1080p rear cameras to factory ones in the future. That should be a plug-in play, so keep an eye out for that. But that is what it is for now. Again, we're just going through the radio here. Check your radio. So the radio, just tap on the radio here to bring it up. Fairly standard radio stuff. Push that, it's going to search for stations. Click and hold a station to save it. AM, FM, fairly standard. Now in the kit we do include the rocker panel thing. So you can see down here it's been pushed in. That's fairly straightforward to get those in. Just grab your trim tool, pop it on the edge of one and pop out a blank. And then you want to put one in. So we've obviously popped out a blank. Pop that back out again. So I can plug this one in. Now sometimes it's easier if actually just pop the tool in the top there to pop out the whole lot. Sometimes it's easier to get them out. So obviously you got blanks, I pop out a blank and you pop in our switch here. Pushes in. You got your two cables in the back. So one of the cables tuck through and leave behind the head unit. That's the USB one. And the other one goes to power. So all we need to do there is we actually include easy way for it to power up. Grab your bit down the bottom. This whole part will pull off. On the back of your cigarette plug here, you're going to have the same plug that is on our plug here. So we just piggyback off that. It's easy as that. Grab this plug here. It's our power one. It's going to give us a quick charge. So it's going to mean we're going to have fast charge when we are using wireless CarPlay or Android Auto, which is handy. But when you plug your phone in to a quick charger at home and it charges up super quick. Little plug here. Feed this back through so you can get it back behind here. It's all pretty roomy behind here, so shouldn't be too hard. Again, to even make this easier for yourself, you can actually tape it onto an end of a screwdriver or something to push it through, or a little piece of wire. But it's not too hard to get through just with your hands. Obviously that plugs into the small one. Push it in, goes click. Two wires here, standard Toyota cigarette plugs. Allow us to piggyback the power without having to chop or join or anything. Plug that into there, plug the other one into the one you took it out of. Probably got two cigarette plugs on this model. They're both the same. Plug it in, zip tie this cable up so it stays out of the way. We'll tape it up and tuck that back in as you put it away, and then you can push all this back in because you're done with this cigarette part now. And to test this here, you can just if you power up the car, you'll see you'll have some light on there, a bit hard to see, but you will do. And also plug your phone in to test it if you wanted to. Other cable you need is this one here. Again, you want to get this one up behind the head unit, so pull it up however you can get it through. Take it through there, up there. And we're going to push it back behind the head unit. As long as you have it in here somewhere where you can get it. Don't take it through the aircon hole because you won't have room in there when you push the aircon vents back in. That one plugs into our other one here. Now that's going to give us a pass-through USB because this model, this 200 series 2011 VX, did not have any factory USB points. So now we actually have one. So tuck all that in. Push that back in like so, and there you have it. So that's a bit tidier there. The USB port, quick charge on the top, pass through on the bottom. Pass through just means it hooks to our head unit. You can here see we have a 4G on here and a GPS on here. Okay, and they just stick on. Give them a push down. Make sure you tuck the cables back through, so you can get them to the back of the head unit. Otherwise, it'll be a bit of a pain to get through. Now you can put a bit of tape like around it and like tidy things up how you like. The only other thing I will mention, this here, there's a blue wire with a black plug on it. And there's actually, this wire from our harness could go into 2 different plugs. If you follow back this, you can see 2 blue wires are coming in here. And our plug is currently into one of them. Will either be into the stripy one or the other one. Our one is currently into the stripy one. Now, if you follow that back, you just want to check that the blue wire that has something on the car side is hooked up. So we want it to be like that one there, not the bottom one, because like the bottom one is like empty on the car side, and there's a pink wire on this top one. So we just want to check that you have that correct. So we don't have it correct. So I want to pull the plug out of here and plug it in. Now just double check once you've done that your radio still is okay, because that's actually your like a radio amplifier. It did work fine before anyway, so some models could affect it, some models it doesn't. Toyota's always lots of things going on. Right, all looking pretty good now. These will just get tucked back into here. We have our GPS and our 4G, our FM. This is going to get tucked back again. Tidy up this one, and then we're almost pretty good to put it in. So we are looking all pretty good for our head unit to go in now. Sorry, I just actually had pulled off the aircon too, because we were doing a wireless caravan camera receiver too, so that's why that is off. So again, if you pull off that bottom cigarette one, then you can actually pull out the aircon one. If you did want to have a bit more room, not needed. So majority of people don't worry about doing that. Again, it was only off because we were putting in wireless receiver for the caravan camera, which we've actually like wired into the front camera here of our reverse camera. So everyone don't worry about that. Rightio, so we're good to go. We're going to put everything back together. I like to start from the bottom if you can, so you don't forget anything. Hazard at the bottom. All right, we've got the hazards in. Yep, well they're working. I can just hear them working then. Then I'll work your way from the far side. This is a bit tight, this one, so I'll probably put that in as we get to it. 4G antenna. Obviously that plugs in like that. Pretty easy, give it a good push. GPS, blue one plugs in like that. I'll tip the camera up a bit so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. Sorry about that. 4G, GPS, Bluetooth, third USB. Third USB I'm just leaving tied up at the back in case we do need it in the future. If you do need it, you can actually pop the top one to get to it, or you can tuck it into the glove box. There's actually a little flap at the back of the glove box on these models to get to the cabin filter or something. You could tuck it through there. 4G SIM. Haven't done this, but I will be running this down to the passenger side there, so we can add a SIM card later on if you want to. Or if you think you're never going to use it, don't even worry about it. But I would definitely think about running it down there, because you never know if you might want to add it later on. That should be fine. So side on, you can see the 4G SIM card thing and other USBs down there. It's all fairly tidy now out of the way, and you can access them, and passenger side can have that there if they need it. So congrats, you just installed your new Vhedia head unit. Awesome stuff. We're big fans of DIY here. Awesome little project to take on, and it's something you use every day, and it's something pretty much anyone can install themselves. As you can see, it's all looking pretty tidy there. We've got our steering wheel controls are working. Our factory reverse camera working. Pretty awesome. Obviously the unit itself, you can install whatever apps you would choose. It's got the Play Store on there. It's got its own built-in 4G sort of a module for Wi-Fi. So it's all pretty good, and obviously wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which is a big one, which is what a lot of people use it for, and then they also want to have these things to do other things with them.